Yes.
So we have a written question from Mr. Anna. I'll read it. The question is about relations, just like and dislike for the sake of Allah. So it is as follows. Is it possible to like for the sake of Allah someone who dislikes other people you like for the sake of Allah? In other words, someone who has animosity to people about whom you are very sure, maybe out of ignorance, bad experiences, and so on.
Yeah. If he's ignorant, if there's a chance that the reason he doesn't like them is because he doesn't know them. It's possible. He's not a vicious person that says, although these are good people and loved by Allah, I dislike them. If he's like this, then no. But he thinks because of the way he has collected information or has been brainwashed, whatever, he thinks that these people are not good people. These people are not liked by Allah. So that is possible.
Thank you, Sheikh.
My pleasure.
Brother Mustafa Diwani, please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Al-Aziz.
Alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Very happy to be connected with you, Sheikhna. Jazakallah khairan for the
My
amazing
pleasure.
lecture. I had a question regarding loving for the sake of Allah.
Yes.
And especially the sake of Allah. That element which has to do with our intention and sincerity.
Yes.
I feel sometimes it's a bit easier to love someone who is not very lovable for the sake of Allah, because it becomes clear that there is a difficulty, some friction between our inclination and what needs to be done, and the mercy we can have for people that may not necessarily inspire that much love in our heart. But for those who are lovable, who are believing brothers, that we incline to love them, are there some signs that we have to be mindful of for loving them for reasons other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because they're, we enjoy their company, because they inspire us, but how can we bring really the intention and the sincerity to love them for the sake of Allah?
So you mean that maybe, for example, they are good people, but
yes,
my reason for connecting with them is not, for example, for the sake of Allah purely. It's because, for example, I just enjoy being with them, even if they were not mu'min, for example, huh?
I mean, yes, but they are mu'min, they're very good, believers. But I don't know, like I don't want to love somebody for other reasons when, for all the reasons that you mentioned. I don't know how to change that intention sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that also goes for other actions. Sometimes there are actions that are difficult, we do them and we offer them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for things that we enjoy that are also beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how can we purify our intention to have it more sincerely towards Allah? I don't know if the question is clear.
Yeah, this question can come even to our family, for example. How can I make sure that I love my children for the sake of Allah? Not just because they are my children. How can I love my husband or wife for the sake of Allah? So, two things. One is to identify whether this person is someone that Allah wants you to love or not. Okay? So, if he's a brother in faith, if it's my family member, my children, I don't know, my wife, my husband. So, Allah loves me to love them. So, this is the first check. And as long as they pass the first check, then keep loving them. But then the second test is how sincere I am in this. Here is something that you have to constantly check and monitor and try to purify it more and more. Don't stop it, because that is some relation that Allah wants you. So, for example, don't say, okay, this time I don't visit my brother in faith because I'm not sure what is my niyyah. Or I don't do this for my family because I'm not sure. So whatever is good and that has passed the first test, keep the relation, try to improve it, but constantly work on your heart. Try to make it at least more consciously for the sake of Allah. Sometimes the way to make things more sincere is to do it over time with more conscious approach. And gradually, it will finally be established. So you don't need to switch it on, switch it off. Say, today I am not, very good with my friends because I want to make sure that it is for the sake of Allah. So we need to be behaving in the way that from outside, people don't notice that I am in constant struggle to purify my intention. People shouldn't notice that, but I am always checking myself. It's like many other things. For example, I am teaching, I am lecturing. Is it really for the sake of Allah, or I am enjoying myself doing this? So one possible thing is to say, okay, I don't do it till I am sure. But I don't think this is good. I think you should do it if you are capable, but continuously in parallel, think about your niyyah and try to purify your niyyah. And inshallah, when you do something good, actually helps you. I cannot make my niyyah for tabligh sincere by not doing tabligh, and then all of a sudden it becomes sincere, and then I start doing tabligh. I should do tabligh, but should be always concerned, and then inshallah gradually it will be established.
Jazakumullah khairan.
May Allah bless
Thank
you.
you so much.
Ahsantum. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaykhna. We have one more question from Sister Kaya Alwi. And inshallah, we can then go to Brother Jawad, if that's okay. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykhna.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Shukran for the session. And the question is, if you base your love for the sake of Allah from the principle that people are Allah's creation, even if those people do not harm others, maybe they're mu'mineen or not, is this okay?
Yeah. We love all people. Some are excluded, but it's not that we had problem with them. So if we don't know someone, just because he's a human being, we love them. Okay? And if they have more merits, we love them more. We love mu'min more than a non-mu'min, in everything being equal. But it doesn't mean that we don't love non-mu'minin. Every person, every human being, every child of Adam and Eve, we should have love for them. Unless it is proved that this person is a criminal, or this person, for example, is a vicious person, these are exceptions. But if we don't know them, we love them. Meaning that we love in general, but there can be exceptions. Our heart should be full of love and concern for all human beings, even for animals, for birds, for all creatures. We should love them.
Shaykhna, a follow-up question from Sister Rokaya is, do we continue to love members of our family or spouses for the sake of Allah, even though their iman is very light or misguided?
Yes. You love your family members, even if their iman is very low, unless the love is in conflict with loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes Allah wants me not to love them because they are so vicious, and so, not that they are bad with me. No, they are very vicious people, So that's different. But even if someone is not mu'min, but is my uncle, is my aunt, is my cousin, I keep my relation with them. I love them. Therefore, I pray for them. I pray for their guidance. If I don't love them, how I can pray for them? You never pray for someone unless you love them. You never want someone to be guided unless you love them. Yeah?
Thank you, Sheikhna.
May Allah bless you.
Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, dear respected Sheikh Shomali.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hayakum Allah. Thank you so much for this very important lecture.
My
and
pleasure.
Nasiha at the same time. Sheikhna, just two questions, because, as currently sometimes, whenever there is, difficulties, trials, sometimes we go through phases as we call of fitna, and we may have what we call different perspective sets of opinion. And when we have sometimes different set of opinions, sometimes there is that standard of mawqif, like, the expectation that we have from the other.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do we gauge in this situation, sometimes that form of expectation, even though both parties sometimes are purely sincere, they're trying to do everything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and trying to maintain, good relationship, but sometimes the position that it's not imposing on one another, but it's just basically when we try to look what is more rational to put ourselves in, sometimes we might set an expectation, and it's not being deceived, or how can I say, or without an attempt from the other party, but how do we sort of continue in flourishing or maintaining the relationship despite the fact, we might clash in different perspective view or any of that sort that could be just challenging to maintain a relationship, basically.
If there are differences in opinions, in stances, which are possible to exist among mu'minin, then it's okay. But if the difference of opinion is something that is not expected to exist among mu'minin, for example, someone says, I am on the side of the oppressors. And with such a person that I'm on the side of the oppressors, you cannot, befriend. But, for example, someone says, I am against the oppression and oppressors, but my way of doing something positive is different from your way of doing something positive. You have differences of opinions that within family of mu'mineen is possible. This should not cause separation, as long as it is something that in the camp of wilaya and iman is possible. Although some people who are close-minded, anything that this is different from them, they say you are outside the camp. But honestly, we find mu'mineen who may politically disagree, who may have different opinions. We should accommodate that. But if it goes beyond what can exist among mu'mineen, then that's different.
Jazakumullah, Sheikhna.
May Allah bless you.
For this valuable insight. One last thing, and forgive me, this question also is tied to the same questions that I've asked. Also, sometimes, and this is part of life, we get busy, and when it comes to the concept of maslaha, sometimes brothers work together for the same purpose, for the same maslaha, because the current purpose was to, let's say, work on a charity project per se, or any of that sort. But then, we divert with time because we are no longer serving the same maslaha that we are engaged in, let's say. So, and I don't mean like how do we maintain the relationship, but rather sometimes if the maslahah is no longer there, it just basically, sometimes I noticed with certain brothers that the brotherhood is no longer maintained, and it's not there's still brotherhood, but it's not the same affinity that was as previously. So how do we gauge, or how do we sort of position such sort of relationship? Should we continue in reaching out to the brother, and the brothers are both believers, and or like the group of brothers are all believers and so on and so forth, but there's just there's so much that sometimes we could try, like we try to extend our hands to maintain that sort of framework of brotherhood, and I just want to hear your perspective on that regard, and I really thank you for shedding light on these questions.
Yeah, when it comes to mu'mineen, we know that Ahlul Bayt want us to be connected with each other, like your siblings. Even if one of them, for example, doesn't show that much warmth, doesn't ask about you, doesn't, but it's your brother, it's your sister. You have to keep the relation. So at the same time that we may spend more time with some mu'mineen, because, for example, we are doing a project together, we are learning together, but we should not exclude others altogether. We should keep relation with others. And this relation is very important for also future of the community. Maybe in this way, our children can become good friends. Maybe our wives can be good friends for each other. So there can be lots of benefits coming from mu'mineen keeping in touch with each other. And this will protect them also from shaitan, because as long as mu'mineen are connected with each other, it makes a huge barrier against infiltration of shaitan.
جزاكم الله خير. أحسنتم شيخ.
May Allah bless you. Thank you.